Season 6, Episode 12, Spice Up Your Life. Um, so we get the opening. Starlight's helping Twilight to fix the table, which I didn't realize was broken. I figured at the end of the episode it just went back to normal. But apparently it's been broken, so they had to include
It's called
that.
a plot device to explain why they haven't had any summonings.
Yeah.
Fair enough, but they could have just not had any summonings. Sometimes things just don't come up.
Yeah.
Slow times with the table.
Called slow business.
And apparently Twilight in Twilight's castle is a possible permutation.
Apparently.
Yeah.
It was a changeling.
We only need his rainbow to be called double to an area, and then you'll have a double rainbow across the. I'll show myself out. Anyway,
There's the door.
Spike's doing their usual. It's kind of become a tired joke now, where they mention the reformed villain's past. Dredge it up for minor laughs, and it's like, yes, since then, obviously she's getting kind of tired of ponies dredging up stuff about her pupils.
Which is really funny because Twilight herself wouldn't let Trixie live that down. And Trixie's was not as bad as Starlight's.
Yeah, in so much as it wasn't her that did the Alicorn amulet stuff. And sure,
Yeah, but
she had. Yeah.
The Alicorn amulet was one town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Starlight destroyed the entire planet.
Yeah, just going even further there, that it was the one time she was really bad. I mean, the first time she was just kind of being a performer and slightly bit of a jerk there. Slightly.
Right.
She was being a slight bit of a jerk there, but, she was not doing anything particularly worthy of scorn. The Alicorn amulet, yes, that was bad, but that was also under the influence of said Alicorn amulet. So, got that going for her. But yeah, it's getting a little tiring. It's like, can we just retire this joke already? Or they say something and they say something, and it's just annoying. It's good to see that if the incident with the table knocked out the table, then at least Starlight is working with Twilight to make amends for past sins.
Of course.
Speaking of Captain Picard Day, Pinky's, I hope it's someplace no one has gone to before, where no pony has gone before. Though Rarity wants her modern conveniences, and can you blame her? Doc, you still with us?
What?
Just making sure Doc was still with us, because I haven't heard her in a while. I think we lost her.
Oh. Lost Trixie.
Anyway. And then we end up in Canterlot. Well, here's to exploring the wide ranges of Equestria.
Yeah, when were we gonna see Las Pegasus?
We can't hear you. Oh, I can barely hear you.
Hello?
Now I can hear you.
Bye.
Okay, good.
Yes, now I can hear you.
And you can hear our guest.
Indeed.
Ah.
Yes. And we end up with Canterlot. Well, here's to exploring the wide and wonderful ranges of
Oh, he's
Equestria.
gonna make a mess.
He's not gonna make a mess.
I think he's gonna make a mess. Just the fact that it's a child. A child will make a mess. If you don't think they'll make a mess, they will figure out how to.
My silvery white sheets with
Uh,
fruit juice.
See, that's why I have black sheets.
Really, I thought it was for other reasons.
Shh, we do not talk about those.
Ooh.
Not on this street.
No. That's why you have the white sheets underneath.
Okay, so moving swiftly on. Rarity says, "What will I wear?" Then shows up naked. It's like,
Yes.
you fussed so much about what you will wear. You made such a big drama moment out of it. Show up naked.
And then you didn't wear anything.
Exactly.
So apparently, Rarity and Restaurant Row rely on reviews from Gazesti Gourmand.
That bitch.
Who is apparently one of her BFFs.
I don't think so much as BFF as
Hashtag work.
she's.
Associates.
I don't even associate. She's an acquaintance. She knows her through other ponies. You know. Because I don't think a true friend would call what Rarity has adequate. Just adequate. You know.
I'm pretty sure I've seen her call other ponies adequate.
Well, I mean. Yeah, adequate seems a little. She doesn't seem as friendly towards the Rarity. She seems more like an acquaintance. Somebody she knows through other ponies and that sort of thing is what I think. But you're welcome to draw whatever conclusions happen to strike you well. Basically, all the restaurants have the 3-hoof rating, and when everybody has the 3-hoof rating, nobody has the 3-hoof rating.
Yeah.
And all of them have pretty much the same overdressed and undersized meals.
With small portions of food.
I always thought that was a really stupid idea. It's like, oh, but it's autistic. It's like, no, if I want to eat, I want to eat. I don't go to have this little tiny thing. Oh, it's some fancy BS. It's not going to taste. Yeah, it's not going to taste any good. It's like, why don't you just stick to stuff that's good and just do really good at that? I would be much more impressed by a really awesome grilled cheese than some garbage that doesn't taste good. But oh, it's exotic and it's experimental. It's like,
Exactly.
make something that tastes good. That's what food is for, to eat. And if you
Yes.
can't enjoy it, it doesn't matter what it looks like or how exotic and creative you got. If it tastes good, fine. But why mess with stuff that's already good? Make your own good stuff. Don't mess with stuff. You know, I like chicken fried steak. Chicken fried steak is a very simple process. You take a steak, you pound the snot out of it, and then you fry it, chicken style.
That's for someone who works at a pizza place. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's simple. It's straightforward. It's nothing crazy. You're
Pizza,
frying
subs,
meat.
salads, wings, brownies.
Pizza. You're making bread, sauce, cheese, and then throw whatever you want on it. You know,
Yeah.
if you want to go crazy with it, fine. But we're gonna provide very basic, normal ingredients. If you want to add stuff on your own, go ahead. But we're gonna make some very.
I've made a
normal
pretty-
pizza.
I made a pretty good breakfast pizza with a liquid egg, and it cooks really well in the oven. It's really good. I put cheese, bacon, sausage, ham, and I topped it with maple syrup when it came out. It was so good.
Yeah. So I mean, you know, make food that tastes
Aside
good.
from the bacon, because I don't eat bacon.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. Making stuff that's good, that tastes good, that's filling and satisfying. You know, that's the kind of food I love. the stuff that stick to you. But Pinky the outsider to this cuisine catastrophe is honest about the taste.
Which is really funny coming from you because you're like a twig.
What?
Stuff that sticks to you.
Oh.
The comment stuff that sticks to you. You're a twig. You have no
I'm not a twig per se, but I'm not
You're
particularly.
as skinny as freaking Discord.
How did you? What do you? Did you have a camera on me or something? I've never shown myself.
I
Wow,
see
candy camera.
all. I see all and know all.
Uh-oh.
But no, I'm not nearly as skinny as I was in high school. I'm just now getting to where my waist and my leg length are the same number. So, but yes, I was 180 pounds and about 6'2" in high school. So yes, at least then I was very skinny. But I've fleshed out a little bit since then. I'm not super skinny. I'm not fat or anything, but I'm okay. Anyway, Pinky the outsider to this cuisine catastrophe is honest about the taste and also has an interesting eating habits. It's just
Slams her head against the table.
yep. She
Reminds me of that SpongeBob. And he starts sucking like this. Remember that?
yes, she turns into a catfish. Okay, and then they travel to the tasty treat. It's very rustic. Rarity, what's that code for? What do you mean by rustic?
I think she means that it's like really, really dingy and archaic.
I think what it's equivalent to is
Shabby.
yes, and in a way, it's kind of like, there are these places, and you sometimes have to explore, and sometimes it's word of mouth, that are kind of like the Tasty Treat, but in real life, where they're not especially breathtaking from the outside, but you get inside, and you get authentic food, and it's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes those don't work out, but sometimes you find a little place that's...
We have one that's like right in the corner on one of the like strip malls along one of our main streets.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it's like this tiny little corner store type thing, and you just barely notice as you drive by, but and inside it's really dingy, the dingy lighting and stuff, but the cuisine is like really ethnic and really like authentic.
The food's amazing.
Mexican food, it's not like Taco Bell Mexican, it's like real Mexican.
Yeah. We get a little more of those down here. That's the great thing about Texas. If you want Mexican food, good grief, you can get it.
You just throw a stone and you find Mexican food.
Yeah.
Reminds me of Gabriel Iglesias talking about, was it Chico's Tacos or something?
Yeah, you can get, you throw a stone, you can find a good, authentic, real Mexican restaurant. Now, that said, we also have, within a stone's throw of each other, like, 2, 3 different taco places within, like, you could stand, you could probably take a rock and throw and hit 3 different taco places.
Sonata starts to geek out.
Yeah, they're just like, but they're that close and clustered. We have a lot of taco places, but it would go into them because I don't want to, because then somebody down the line, I wonder where he is. Oh, I'll look at, okay, where are these 3 close together? The jig's up. But, yeah, getting real authentic food is nice.
Yeah.
Also, there's a really nice like Mediterranean place near me too.
Oh yeah.
It's like Mediterranean / like Middle Eastern type.
Ooh. Okay.
We have an
Where it's
Go ahead. Sorry.
got like falafels and shit.
Now we have an Italian place nearby. We had two, but it's in a really bad location, and nobody can keep that particular location, open with anything, because like
Oh, yeah.
it'll be open with
Mhm.
something, and then the next month it'll be closing because it can't get business, because it's tucked
Yeah, that's
in
what
back
it is.
somewhere, and it just doesn't work.
There are a
Right.
number of those at our local mall.
Yeah,
Those
that's
type of locations.
with my dad who works in the food business. He's a culinary chef, and learning from his brother who owned restaurants. We were going to a store one time. It's like, yeah, that's not a good location. So yeah, I know what you're talking about. I used to work in a store that was a terrible location, and they had to close it. So
Yeah, you really need some serious word of mouth and good deals to keep that sort of location open, and decent rent. Keep your
Mhm.
costs low. Oh, I love the music in this episode. That they kind
Me
of
too.
gave it that kind of
Bollywood feel.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
kind of got that nice Indian flair to it. Especially,
Yeah.
it makes it even pop out even more when compared to all the little, you know, fine dining establishments that she had. It's like, okay, and here's something completely different. They're stale, bland. Everything is dull and pale, and there's nothing. It's just nothingness. And then you go to this, you see Tasty Treat, and it's completely different. There's charm. There's color. There's music that's very different. It's got a feel to it. It feels alive rather than just kind of Mortician's restaurant that seems to be pervasive in Restaurant Row. I like the Saffron Marsala and her father Coriander Cumin have very nice designs. I like their designs. They're unique.
Yeah.
Mhm. Well,
So
Coriander does look kind of like a redesign of that Russian mob dad that Rarity who was Rarity's landlord in Manhattan.
oh yeah,
that's a possibility. But I like his color scheme too. It looks really nice.
He has
Yeah.
a good color scheme though, yeah.
Yeah, they both got a really nice color scheme. It really it goes really well with their kind of spice names.
Yeah, and their ethnicity, that gives them a slight differential to the others because all the others are more lighter colored and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Especially compared to Pinkie Pie and Rarity because they're so bright.
Yeah.
Pop.
They're bright and pastels. They're more earth tones.
Yeah, which makes sense considering where they're from,
You have let's see, the voice actors were Diana Karina as Saffron, who has also done Arya Blaze from the movie. Leto Carr was as Coriander. He's done Gummy, Snips, Stephen Magnet, Spot the Diamond Dog, Shopkeeper Pony, Beaver Foreman, and other voices. He's basically been a little bit of everything. She makes the claim that it's the most exotic cuisine in Canterlot. It's basically the only cuisine in Canterlot that isn't the sterile version.
Pretty much.
Rarity harps on the ratings. Some things you can't judge a restaurant by its looks.
Exactly.
He eats by fatty fish. No pony here is willing to try anything new. Again, it goes back to that. We have to worship at Zesty Gourmand's hooves as to what's good. It's like, this is one of those things that it's like Rotten Tomatoes. sometimes it's better to judge not on what the critic says as much as it is to say what other people are saying, because usually the other people are more reflective of normal people, because you can not like you can the people are going to the professional critics are going to be a little more discerning, and they're going to be looking for a very specific kind of thing. And sometimes that's not what the movie is designed to be, and sometimes they forget the fun of the movie and just, oh, it's not got this, or it's not got that, or it's to this, or it's to that. Where everybody else is just kind of, hey, I enjoyed it. It's like, well, I tend to follow over what other people are saying instead of critics, because critics, while they can be informative, sometimes lose touch with, just, is it an enjoyable movie or not? Is it enjoyable food or not?
Plus, the critics are one person, and
Yeah.
letting one person control everybody else's opinion is just stupid.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's why Yelp is done the way it's done, because
You have multiple reviews.
yeah, and if something's messed up with it, well, you're gonna hear about it. You might not hear about it from the critics. The critic might not see it, but it's like it's the purest one of the purest forms of capitalism. Is, hey, here's a review of that place. It stunk. Guess what? They're gonna have to change or go out of business if people keep saying it stunk. Well,
And some people say it stunk, some people liked it. And
Yeah.
you just choose which reviews to follow.
yeah,
Exactly.
Which is the same with like Amazon or anything, really. You look at the reviews and you decide whether it's worth it.
yeah. And sometimes you look at the grammar to decide whether you really want to believe them or not. Because if somebody can't produce a properly worded review, is constantly making grammatical mistakes.
Or this place sucks.
Yeah.
S-U-X.
I take their word a little less seriously than somebody who has a thoughtful, well-written review of the thing, giving specific reasons why they liked it or they didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Especially people who do give both positive and negative things within the same review, because that gives you a little idea of they're not going to be they're not completely in one camp or the other. They're giving you a more full picture of what you're going to see when you're there. One thing about that, we're talking about their heritage. He says we moved halfway across Equestria. Where were they from? Okay, most of the equestrian maps show. Basically, it's a kind of you take the U.S. and Canada, and kind of just smush it east-west wise. With Canterlot somewhere in the Midwest, somewhere like Ohio to Nebraska, something in there. Perhaps they're second generation, and if so,
Or maybe they tried somewhere else first.
that's what I was going with second generation, where they came into Equestria, but they went to Las Pegasus. Where are these people? Where are these ponies originally from? Where's their culture originally from? Because you just kind of see just kind of a squished U.S. and that's not I don't think that's the origin of this culture, because we just haven't seen it anywhere other than this time. So it's a rather small minority. So maybe this culture is from somewhere else, and if so, is it kind of like the zebras? It's like it's somewhere else on the world. We're just never gonna show it or really reference it. But again, it could be that there is a place in Equestria that has this culture, but we haven't really seen it. And I would like to see that.
I also find it funny that they put this episode when they did, because it's one of the Muslim holidays right now,
Oh wow.
Well,
where they can't eat from dusk to dawn.
Yeah,
I mean, from
Ramadan.
dawn to dusk. Yeah, it's Ramadan. I just
Well, that's
they
most of Indian culture. Most of Indians are Hindu, not Muslim.
yeah, I know, but I mean just as a general ethnicity thing. Because I know a number of Indian and Pakistanis who are Muslim
Yeah.
and get very cranky around this time of year.
Well, yeah, I imagine.
Yeah. That's not to say they are, but yeah. We don't. We don't know. I'm guessing Indian. That's what I'm. Anyway, Zesty wouldn't even take the time to rate it. She's played by Fiona Hogan. This is her first foray into MLP, though she's done a lot of other work. Rarity apparently has some strings and some favors to pull someone in like that. From this point onward in the show, it kind of devolves into a fairly bland be yourself and diversity message with a small sprinkling of passion and family togetherness thrown in that brings it back up a little bit. Here we see,
I do find her name very ironic.
yes, in that zesty would mean some sort of kind of spicy, and gourmand is
Bland.
yeah, she wants bland. You just the slightest of
Slightest of flavor, slightest
yeah.
hint of flavor.
Yes, but it takes a true culinary artist to create a subtle taste, the barest hint of a sensation. That's what I bring to Canterlot. That's art. Well, cooking isn't art, it's also food, and we should probably make it to where people enjoy eating it. We see the song that we get in this episode shows the diametrically opposed nature of Rarity and Pinky's point of view at that part of the story. One is based on what she knows sells well in Canterlot. Pinky is a bit more risk-taking, but follows passion and a chance at uniqueness, which can also be a selling point in such a monotonous restaurant culture. So, I mean, Rarity is going with the known quantity, the thing that definitely sells, and Pinky is going on a bit of a risk, but it's got a higher chance of making a big splash and being more true to themselves. And of course the tourist ponies highlight the bland nature of the food culture. Yeah, so we get zesty gourmand with any pony can throw ingredients together and create an obvious taste like uncultured ponies like those two can register. Food snob.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Chargirl Breadwinner says, hey. And then Zesty comes back with, but it takes a true culinary artist to create a subtle taste, the first hint of a sensation. That's what I bring to Canterlot. That's art. But, it's got a little, it should have flavor. It should be enjoyable. Yeah.
Your Applejack just poked out.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It should have some flavor.
Well, I mean, that's the thing is, that is one of my accent. It's part of my accent, my natural speech pattern. It just only comes out over certain words. You can hear it in certain words, and when I'm doing things, you can hear certain endings. You'll hear it really well, like certain word endings, like word. Erd. It tends to do that. And refrigerator. It's not refrigerator. It's refrigerator. And I have sort of a blend of kind of the American equivalent of RP and Texan. It's a little bit of both. And so you end up with that. So Applejack coming out is not a mistake. It's just kind of part of what my accent does. And Rarity gets a good zinger line towards the end. It's like, Zesty, are you sure you wouldn't like to try the food? Ignoring a unique and fresh establishment such as this could do serious damage to your social standing. Given
Yeah.
what she said earlier, that's a bit of a
Take that.
crock. What she said earlier, so it's like, oh, yeah. You can touch
Right back at you, buddy. Like that.
Yeah. Everybody else seems, see, social standing relies on, being social. And being social requires, other ponies. And so if the other ponies agree with me, guess who wins this argument? You can say all you want about it. Oh, it's not art. It's not culinary perfection. No, but it's good food.
You can make art all you want as long as it tastes good. I mean, that's just what it comes down to. Either
Yeah.
it tastes good or it tastes like crap.
Yeah. And food can be art, and food can be art and taste good.
Yeah.
But, making food art for art's sake is missing the point somewhat. Because you're missing a whole part of the art. It's like only painting in black and white. It's like, yes, it's art, but you could have so much more in color. Would you add color back into it instead of just rely, it's black and white. The presentation is very nice. The color can give it a little pizzazz. But, in that scene, somebody made a kind of a labeled picture for the end scene that kind of labels out some of the chef ponies that are there. I'm sure there are more than what were labeled there, but this is what they've got. You've got a Jamie, what they assume to be a Jamie Oliver. They've got a Kat Cora, Rachel Ray, Gordon Ramsay, Julia Child, and Mr. Food. I don't know who Mr. Food
I've heard
is.
of three of those.
I think I've heard.
I've only heard of Rachel Ray, Gordon Ramsay, and Julia Child.
Yeah. I've heard of basically everybody on that list except for Mr. Food. I've never heard of Mr. Food. He may be popular somewhere else, or maybe something I've never seen. I'm not familiar with him, so I wouldn't have recognized him. It was nice that, that we did get those little thrown in at the end. But yeah, food is about, culture, togetherness, flavor, sustenance. It's about making something people or ponies want to eat. It was an okay episode. It had some really nice flavor to it. I liked the sort of Indian flair to it. It was very nice.
I think it's tastefully done.
Yeah.
It was tastefully done. Coriander's accent might have been a bit overdone, but it's okay.
Not really. I know people who have been here years and still sound like that.
Okay. I wasn't saying it was going to be it was massively overdone, but maybe just a bit much. But what do I know? Anyway.
I know people who have been here for like decades and still sound less legible than that, so.
Okay. But mostly it was a good episode. Good little flavor pieces here and there. Wasn't the best episode this season, but it was certainly not the worst. I don't think it's going to be the worst of this season either. So,
No.
It was a nice, even episode. We get some good laughs from Pinky. Pinky gets to be Pinky and be weird, but that's cool because that's Pinky.
Mm-hmm.
And Rarity gets to being a
Rarity.
more accepting.
And she learns a valuable lesson about not doing everything everybody tells you to.
Yes, investigating for yourself. Don't always rely on the critics to tell you what to do.
The standards of Canterlot.
Which you think she would be the one who would know best of all about uniqueness and your own flair on the situation. Considering
True.
the dressmaking industry has to be, you have to show uniqueness. Otherwise, there's themes for the season usually. Well, this is in and that's in, but perhaps that is a thing that may have guided this. Is this is in, so everybody's doing this. That may have done it, but she should also be aware that while you have to know what the trends are, you should still be true to what your creativity says they'll be. And sometimes you'll be ahead of the curve, and sometimes you'll be behind the curve, but you'll be unique.
I think Rarity did take a few steps back from her character evolution in this. Like, this is more of something she would have done a few seasons ago. With the, trust me, this is how, you have to be like everyone else in order to fit in.
Yes, but I think for what few steps she took back, she took those steps right back forward.
Yeah, she did, but I mean at the beginning.
Yeah, I'm saying she ended the episode at least back where she started in terms of the way she is on her character development. It's all back where it started. I mean, and characters get handed the idiot ball all the time to make things work. Believe me, Applejack gets handed the idiot ball enough. Whenever they want to make an episode with her, they have to basically, because she's such a balanced character, they have to hand her an idiot ball to get her to be anything interesting going on. She's just a really good character to kind of anchor everybody else. And then, so getting her unanchored, you have to mess with her character somewhat in order, because she's Team Mom. She's like, Twilight, that's probably not a good idea.
Yeah.
Or maybe you should calm down there, Pinkie Pie, just a little bit.
Exactly.
But yeah, a lot of times anything that happens, they have to hand her an idiot ball for the episode. When most times she's pretty good at having some horse sense. Doc, if you're saying something, I can't hear you.
I'm not.
Okay, good. It just got quiet there for a second, just laying out on the horrible joke. But anything else to talk about with this episode?
I sent a link actually. I don't know if y'all saw this yesterday on Equestria Daily, but one of the Polish dub VAs posted leaked out a screenshot of the Equestria Girls Legends of Everfree movie coming out in the fall.
Okay.
I don't want it really.
I look at it sometimes, but not all the time. Especially when we start getting into hiatus times. Then
Yeah, I don't like spoilers.
Hiatus times, it generally gets into just kind of a circling pattern and just kind of a holding pattern, and you get kind of the content stagnates just a little bit.
Not to mention, up until, well, thankfully next week I'll finally be free of that. But I've been working like 70 hours a week.
Jesus.
So I'm lucky I remember to watch the episode, and I remember what the episode is by this time. Because I literally download it off of Yay Ponies and watch it on my break.
Yeah.
At work, at my lunch.
But it takes me significantly longer than a lunch break to do my episode rundowns. But then again, I do rundowns instead of just watching the episode.
Yeah, I would not have time to do a rundown. I'm lucky I remember the episode. between, yeah, but thankfully, that's going to be over because I've quit hell. So yay!
All right.
I'm not working at hell anymore.
Well, you're not working with Gordon Ramsay?
Oh no, I mean actual hell.
Um,
The devil was kind of disappointed, but I told him, it's summertime. It's too hot for me.
Anyway, anything else? Or are we done?
I think we're done.
All right. That's the end of the review. If you're watching this on the VOD, thank you for watching.